Sometime around 2006, I joined Entebbe Club as a member. We were very short on sponsorship, and there was clearly a need to attract people to come to play in Entebbe, and also to bring new membership into the club. So in 2008, I became chairman of the club.
That was the second year of my management of the club. I started off as the house member. And when KK, as we all know him, was the chairman of the club, we all sat together and we wondered what could we do for Entebbe Club, because we had no sponsorship and nobody was interested in bringing sponsorship to Entebbe Club. So we went out and decided to task every office holder at the time to have an event that they must find a sponsor for. At that point in time, we set out to have the chairman come up with a competition, the secretary to come up with a competition, and the captain to come up with a competition. So I was tasked with the job of finding a sponsor for the Chairman's Cup. Alex Rego was tasked to find the sponsor for the Captain's Pata. And so as secretary I was charged to go out and look for a sponsor for the Entebbe Open. We also needed to find a way of making it exciting so that it can attract people to come and play. So it came to mind that you can actually play golf with less than the 14 clubs that are normally in your set. So we toyed with the idea and decided, no, this Chairman's Cup 2008 shall be played with 4 clubs. Meaning 3 clubs and the Pata. So we went out to look for a sponsor. I approached Alexander Forbes then, KWAME EJALU, and they agreed to sponsor the event. We've had a very long, fruitful relationship with Entebbe Club starting 10 years ago. I was first introduced to Entebbe Club by a gentleman called KIWANUKA, who was just becoming chairman of the club then. He invited me over to have a look at the club, shared the vision of the club, and requested us to sponsor. To be honest with you, when we brought the Chairman's Cup, we wanted to make it fun. And trust me, the first Chairman's Cup was fun. From inception, the Chairman's Cup was a hit. The decision to choose 4 clubs out of your 14 clubs was amazing. So that whole idea attracted players. At that time, I think in Entebbe Club we're probably about no less than 60 members. And so we had a full house. On the first tournament, we had a very high turnout and a very well organized event. So we felt that this is the place that we would really ideally want to become partners with. So we went out to make it fun, and the idea was to make Entebbe fun. While you're playing the game, we wanted people to enjoy it. When that happened, we immediately compared it to the previous club and tournament that we had sponsored, and we felt that we got more enthusiasm and more mileage out of Entebbe Club, and so we continued sponsoring them. One of the factors that has contributed to the success of the Chairman's Cup was the hunger that Entebbe Club had. We needed an anchor sponsor to get us there. The Chairman's Cup is the event that was used to create the first fund for development, even for the new building that you see on the side, the new clubhouse. That is what we started. Mr. KWAME EJALU always insisted that some money be put aside out of the sponsorship towards the development of the club. The Chairman's Cup is synonymous with one person. It is Mr. KWAME EJALU. That, I think, is the greatest constant that has been in this event. All layers, players have changed, executives have changed, but the sponsor has been constant and remained constant. 2, the members of Entebbe Club themselves.
The success of the Chairman's Cup, in my opinion, is solely because of the interest, the enthusiasm, and the participation of the members of Entebbe Club and the members of other clubs that come and join us for this event. Entebbe Club members are passionate about their club. They will stop at nothing to make their club survive. They respond to what the sponsor is offering to them because the members always want to give back. I think now we're much more aware about insurance and the need for insurance than we had before. I did not quite anticipate where Chairman's Cup would be today. And just because we've got a fantastic anchor sponsor. This particular 10th one is kind of different. One, besides celebrating 10 years,
we now realize that we've got other companies that are coming on, the banks.
Commercial Bank of Africa is in Entebbe today to be a co-sponsor for the Chairman's Cup.
We were invited to take part in this event and sponsor part of the event, and together with AFRISAFE and our partners, because they are our brokers, we decided to join forces and come and help the Entebbe Golf Club and sponsorship this event.
You can see that the event is growing big.
So lastly, while we appreciate AFRISAFE for sponsoring the Chairman's Cup for the last 10 years, and we thank the members for participating and showing the enthusiasm for this cup.
Great thanks to our sponsors for this event. Great thanks to KWAME EJALU
for sponsoring the Chairman's Cup for the last 10 years.
And we thank you very, very much for keeping this going.
You put your trust in us, you put your trust in KK, myself, and now with Dr. TWINEMANZI. I am sure you're going to put your trust in the chairman that will come.
We pray that AFRISAFE stays here for many more years, so we can come back and talk about this 100 years later.